A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house. I lived here until I was 11, but I wasn't allowed inside half the rooms. Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately. I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral. In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back. No one had driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints. The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it. But now I had questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to. The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it. As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. The house felt like it had always been here. Even the swing set was older than my mother.
Hola. ¿Qué hay, Rajiki? Este es un juegazo, bro. Si no lo has jugado, neta, juégalo. O watchalo.
I heard something moving around in the garage.
FF, papá.
Crawling through the doggy door used to be a lot easier when I was 11.
Ah, está bien, güey. ¿Cómo sabes inglés o qué? Para que pongas atención, güey. Entonces es un juego de narrativas.
The power had been turned off the night we left.
GG, papá. Tú ponle atención
For the
al
first
audio,
time
güey.
in years, I felt like I was home.
Yes,
but
I
instead of a
do.
family, there were just memories of one. Like how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly. Or how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot. The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture. My mom was the only one of us who could imagine Great-Grandma Edie living in a nursing home. Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth. Even the fireplace had a story. Edie told me the bricks came from the original house, after it sank.
Yo quisiera uno tener esta casota y ella quejándose. Está bien, pues. Cada quien tiene sus demonios.
Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library. My mom wasn't much of an optimist, but she never stopped believing that my brother Milton was alive.
Nos andan viendo tres, nada más que no sé quiénes son. Bueno, contigo uno y otros dos, pero no sé quiénes son los otros dos. Ah, ya se salió uno. ¿Qué pasó?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes. My Grandpa Sam spent 7 years sharing a room with his dead brother, Calvin. As a kid, I just assumed every house had peepholes and sealed rooms you weren't allowed inside of. The last time I was in Edith Sr.'s room, I was 10 and she was painting my portrait.
Vaya, ¿de qué quieres que hable, güey? Pues pon atención al juego, güey. Es un juegazo, ya te dije.
Sometimes regretted not sealing it up.
Como dura como 2 horas nomás, güey.
Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him. Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of.
¿Y de qué andas haciendo tarea o qué? A ver, pues, déjate hago plática. Para que no digas que no hablo.
Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan. But I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Sí, güey, y es que este juego se trata de esta morra que le heredaron su casa. Y se supone que... A ver, andas diseñando una base de datos. ¿Está bien? ¿En Excel o qué? ¿En Excel, papá? Puras macros
I
en
grew
Excel,
up
papá.
looking at Molly's room through the peephole.
Y bueno, te decía del juego que se trata de que le darán una mansión o una casa y pues quiere descubrir como de qué
Being
murieron
inside for the
cada
first
uno de los
time, I
miembros.
felt like I'd stepped behind a painting.
Entonces está chido porque murieron como que de formas bien randoms, güey. Por ejemplo, mira, si quieres ahorita ves el de esta niña. Tenía un chingo de imaginación y pensaba que era un gato y no sé qué otros animales. El chiste es que se mató, creo, porque saltó de la ventana, güey. Y así con cada miembro es una historia acá bien chida, güey, de cómo se murió. Mira, si no ahorita guachas, para que veas. Mira, por ejemplo, la niña, la Molly.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat.
Pon atención, güey. A esto sí pon atención nada más para que veas de qué va el juego,
The
chaval.
gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. Mom, can I come out now?
Sweetheart, it's late. Go to sleep.
También su jefa, güey, que no le da de comer. Pues a huevo va a comer pinche de comida de ratón.
I ate a lot of things that night. I kept eating and eating. Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared. I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up. And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Si tiene imaginación la morrilla, güey. Hasta aparece el director creativo de The Nomad.
Rabbits. I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons.
Shit.
I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger. A mama rabbit.
Shit.
She was almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Netón. Un tiburón. Rajiki. Shark Boy.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals. I tore off her flipper, and it tasted really good. I grabbed on tight, but I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water.
Sí, bro.
When I
Un
opened
sushi.
my eyes, everything changed.
Luego era un pinche calamar. O sepa qué verga es eso, güey.
Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Digo que hasta aparece el director creativo de The Nomad, güey. Con un chingo de creatividad y desarrollo de personaje. Vamos al 2x1.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Sí, bro. Están igualitos. Hasta es el mismo diseñador de The Nomad. Hay que publicar esa mierda de prototipo, güey, en el canal.
I wanted to stop, but also I didn't.
Simón, pues yo soy el creativo nomás.
After the last passenger,
Chingues.
I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it.
Y Six, como un chingo de juegos.
I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Le pedimos ayuda al gobierno, güey. Nos chingamos la feria. Les damos un prototipo bien culerote. Y ya con eso. Para justificar los gastos, güey. Simón. En el de mi clan o algo así.
Closer and closer.
Sí, güey. Por eso te digo que al gobierno, porque esos cabrones que sí hicieron eso. Pinches estafadores. I am.
all my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to be, and we both know I will be delicious.
Netón. Mi amiga la menos esquizofrénica. Y ya, güey. Así se murió la güey.
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Tenía 10 años.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Oh, perra, Kiki. ¿Sí te gustó o qué? La historia de la morra. Si no, ahorita van a ver más chidas,
This will
güey.
be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
No tengo cámara, bro. Ni producción, no le
I
sé.
spent a lot of time in
Estás viendo que no sé ni destacar una historia en Instagram, güey. Voy a andar grabando mi jeta. Ahí es donde entras tú, puto.
We got along and it was a good place
Digo,
to hide from my mom.
amigo.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed.
No se puede conectar al Play, güey. Creo que tú ocupa un OBS o algo así. Y ahí es donde te digo que no le sé. Y la neta no quiero aprender, bro. Mejor tú que sabes lo de
The room
producción.
was like a museum. For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan.
Ah, no me digas así, bro. Diré el tacua.
On January
No digas
7th,
eso.
1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island.
¿Cómo lo ves a
Odin
mi amigo?
Finch is the first to be buried in the new
Ya ni le
family
creo, güey.
cemetery.
Es más, te apuesto que a la semana va a andar otra vez ahí.
His daughter Edie is
Y te lo
already
firmo
joining
en donde
the new
quieras.
Finch house. Whatever's wrong with this family, it goes back a long ways.
El Odin. O se murió de ruco. Qué historia tan chafa, la neta. Pero está bien como quiera.
Lewis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious. I hadn't thought of myself as Edith Jr. for a long, long time. Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother.
Ah, mira, esta historia
The
también está
only
chida,
place
güey.
Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom. It
Ah,
was a
creo que...
pretty big trace.
No, entonces no es la que te digo yo, güey. Creo que no. ¿O sí? A ver.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book. Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down.
No, creo que no es la que yo te digo. Así que tú sigue
From
haciendo
the
tarea,
paintings
bro.
on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me.
Ah, sí es, creo que sí es. Mira, guáchate, Rajiki.
I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin. And that he never talked about him.
Ponle
I
atención a
guess
esto
my
también,
grandpa
güey.
didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Del amigo Calvin que se murió a los 11 años. Bien chavo.
How I Want to Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom. And he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again. And he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Calvin! Dinner's ready!
Coming! But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that,
Y sí, fue su culpa.
Not gonna tell you again.
maybe if the wind hadn't picked up, then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind. That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Shit.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Decidió volar y voló hasta el cielo.
After the funeral, Edie roped off Calvin's half of the room. Mom said Grandpa Sam enlisted at 18 and never set foot in the room again.
Y tú, pues esta casa tiene muchos secretos. Muchos pasadizos.
The passages were a pretty tight fit. They'd obviously been built for smaller hands and bellies.
Hola Ixia, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenida. Pásale, pásale. Hola. ¿Ya jugaste este juego? What Remains of Edith Finch?
Growing up, I always thought of Barbara as a child star.
Me da gusto que estás bien. Es un juegazo, ¿verdad? Estoy convenciendo aquí a mi amigo Rafa de que lo juegue. O de que por lo menos le ponga atención porque es un juegazo. Ya también la historia de esta Bárbara. Está muy cool la niña actriz.
I never thought about how hard it must have been for her afterwards. Of all the stories people wrote about Barbara's death, I'm surprised Edie saved this one.
Vamos a poner atención.
Jack here with another ghastly tale inspired by America's most unfortunate family. I'm calling it The Surprise Ending of Barbara Finch. As a child star, Barbara was famous for her scream. Now at 16, she was all washed up, a has-been. But in a lucky break, she'd been asked to perform her signature scream at a local convention for monster movie fans. It was just the boost her career needed. Unfortunately, her scream hadn't aged well.
Getting better. I think you just need the right motivation.
Her biggest fan and current boyfriend, Rick, was about to demonstrate when...
Now that was a great scream.
It was Barbara's father, Sven. He'd slipped into a table saw and had to be rushed to the emergency room. So Barbara got stuck babysitting her youngest brother, Walter. Her convention comeback was cancelled.
Okay, I'm hearing frustration, but I'm not hearing terror. What if I tried...
A gang of hoodlums in Halloween masks have been terrorizing Orcas Island tonight. Police are urging residents to...
That came from the basement.
You're right! Also, I loved your delivery on that. Why is your basement door locked?
Because my dad likes making puzzles and secret passages. There's a key hidden in the music box. The secret is to keep winding and winding until finally the key pops out.
Thanks, babe. I'll be back in a sec.
20 minutes later, Rick hadn't returned. So Barbara went to look for him, right on cue. She reached for the music box. And as she wound the key, she listened for Rick, but the house was silent. She found Rick's crutch and imagined the worst.
Hookman killer, Dr. Carl Hamill, who impaled
Qué creepy la muñeca esa.
years ago tonight.
El doctor Carl Hamill. Mira, una de esas que te despiertes y no sea lo primero que veas. Y aquí fue la sierra donde se murió el tío. O ese muñeco, mira. Hola, ¿qué hace? Hola, I do not care, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenido. ¿Sí has visto este juego? What Remains of Edith Finch.
Oh dear!
Oh!
Rick?
Barb, relax. I was just trying to scare you to help you find your scream.
Well, I'm not scared, Rick. I'm furious.
Then act furious. All I'm getting from you now is that you're hurt and confused and...
She threw him out, but she kept a little something to remember him by.
Barb, have you seen my other crutch?
And she was still holding it when she fell asleep watching the Late Picture Show. Hours later...
Barbara!
Walter, what's going on up there? Ah! Okay, I'm coming up, but if this is a trick...
Este juego está muy cool. I do not care. Se trata de... Ya a ver si ya puedo hablar, creo. Se trata de que le heredan una casa a una chica que se llama Edith. Entonces van pasando como mini historias. Es literal como una tipo mansión. Y va pasando por los cuartos de cada uno de los miembros de la familia. Y cada uno tiene como que una historia o de cómo se murió o de qué fue lo que hizo en su vida. Y son como mini historias y todas están muy interesantes. Por ejemplo, hace rato con aquí Rafa, que está en el stream, vimos una de una niña que se murió porque le dio hambre en la noche porque no le dieron de comer. Y estaba como loquita o tenía mucha imaginación porque pensaba que era un gato y después pensaba que era un búho y después que era un tiburón. Y así, y la historia de esta, la que ahorita estás viendo, es de una niña que era actriz, pero cuando creció, pues no fue lo mismo. Lo que pasa en la vida real, ¿verdad? Que las niñas actrices ya después crecen y no son exitosas. Entonces, su novio como que la trató de que recuperara como que el miedo o su grito de miedo, entonces por eso es como que una ambientación de terror. Porque quieren que vuelva a recuperar como que su actuación de miedo. Y pues aquí estamos. Es un juego muy narrativo. Sí, muy narrativo, pero está muy cool. Si no lo has jugado, sí te lo recomiendo mucho. Y creo que está muy barato. Vale como $10, más o menos. Y no dura mucho, dura como 2 horas, yo creo. Entonces, si se puede, nos lo pasamos todo de una vez en este stream.
Walter had vanished, but his bedside radio was still on.
Orcas Island police describe the man as 6 feet tall, with a steel hook for a hand. Residents are urged to lock all doors and windows and notify the police of any suspicious activity.
Vale, claro que sí, te lo recomiendo mucho.
Barbara turned, saw the hook man, and was speechless. He was quite smashing. He couldn't get enough of Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, there's gotta be another way out of here.
That night, she played her part beautifully. She thought about abandoning Walter, but just couldn't do it. Molly's door hadn't been opened in years. The hinges groaned. He wasn't moving, but she sensed the story might not be over yet.
Vamos a ver qué le pasó al chico que se cayó. Hola Diana, ¿cómo estás? Bienvenida. Vamos medio empezando más o menos. ¿Te acuerdas que te conté del juego? Que era como que muchas mini historias de la familia de una mansión, de cómo murieron o de qué hicieron en su vida o eso.
Dying to speak to young Barbara. At the door, she was whispering. It was coming from inside the house.
Oh dear.
Bravo! You were wonderful! The monsters had come to surprise her. For Barbara, it was a dream come Then she saw what kind of monsters they were, and she realized what was about to happen. She was going to be famous. And with her final breath, Barbara Finch gave the performance of her life. I wasn't there myself, but I hear Barbara was magnificent. Poor girl. She had a taste for stardom. But unfortunately, so did her fans. Of course, the police blamed it all on poor Rick, who disappeared the same night. And little Walter? Hiding under his bed the whole time. He took it all pretty hard, but that's another story. As for Barbara, tucked inside the music box is all they ever found of her. Her ear. Now that's what I call a real eerie tale.
Bueno, una historia interesante de la niña actriz. Entonces ya llevamos a Molly, a Bárbara y a Calvin.
Maybe what Edie saw was a happy ending.
Vale, vamos a la que sigue. Sí, la dejaron como a Van Gogh sin oreja. Y se murió siendo una estrella, o famosa por lo menos. De la familia... Déjame ver si puedo abrir. Son todos esos, mira, es como el árbol. Entonces es Louis, Milton, Edith. Edith es la personaje con la que estamos jugando recorriendo a la casa. Está Dawn, Gus, Gregory, Sam, Walter, Eddie, Odin. Y los que ahorita ya llevamos fueron Molly, que es la niña que se murió porque no le dieron de comer en la noche. Y sí, la que conté de que estaba como medio esquizofrénica y pensó que era un gato y después un tiburón y que se comía todo lo que vio y todo eso. Entonces se murió por eso. Está Bárbara, que es la que vimos ahorita, que es la niña actriz de terror. Y está Calvin, que murió porque en un columpio estaba girando y le dijeron que era imposible girar completamente en un columpio. Entonces lo trató de hacer y sí giró completamente, pero salió volando por un alcantarillado y por eso murió. Llevamos esas apenas. Entonces, vamos a darle con a las que siguen.
Odin built the original house. Whenever people ask me about my family, the first thing they always want to know about is Barbara.
Bárbara, la niña actriz que se murió porque se la comieron
Mom
los
must have
monstruos.
walked the third floor stairs on the night we left. It's funny. All those times I played with the music box and never found the basement key.
Vale, vamos a la caja de música. Aquí está. El contexto es que le heredaron la casa, entonces quiere como que visitarla una última vez para ya despedirse de ella. Porque es la única integrante viva de la familia hasta el momento. Entonces para recordar como que su tiempo en la casa o recordar su familia, la está explorando por última vez. Nada más que nunca le gustó la casa.
Was off limits, unless I wanted another tetanus shot.
Sí, que porque le daba miedo y todo eso. Sí, está recordando como que todo lo que
saw
pasó
Edie sneak
o
down through
leyendo
those
los diarios
doors,
de cada persona
carrying
también.
packages. I thought maybe she was hiding presents. It turned out she was hiding a lot more than that.
Hasta tenían búnkers y todo. Sí decía que le daba miedo la casa, que por eso nunca iba. Pero como la heredaron, pues quería recorrerla
I
una
remember
última vez.
asking Mom once about where
Para
Walter
nunca
had
volver.
gone. She said after Barbara died, he got as far away as he could. If there's a pattern in all these stories,
Y pura comida echada a perder,
I
yo
think
creo.
it's that none of us has gotten very far.
Goodbye, everyone. I can't believe I've been down here for 30 years. On that first day, after the shaking started, I didn't think I'd survive a week. But after a few days, I settled into a routine. That's what kept me sane. Having a schedule, living for today. I always expected to be dead tomorrow.
Chale.
If you wait long enough,
Yo no aguantaría estar así en un búnker tanto tiempo, la verdad.
even a monster on the other side of the door starts to feel normal. Almost friendly. And then one day, everything just stopped.
No manches,
Whatever
¿cuánto
that
tiempo
thing
ahí
was,
encerrado?
It was gone. Maybe it got tired of waiting. Or maybe I just got tired of being afraid. It's been a week now, the longest in 30 years.
30 años.
I'm done waiting. I have to leave. Well, I still can.
Sí, ahora que recuperes la casa, ahora que heredes tu mansión, ya te vas a acordar de todas esas historias.
I know it's out there somewhere. Whatever killed Barbara and Molly and Calvin. Maybe this is all a mistake.
Last Day of June.
But I need
¿Qué
to
crees que no
stop
conozco el
living the
juego?
same
Ahorita
day,
lo voy a investigar.
even if it kills me.
Por fin pudo salir. Después de 30 años
Whatever's out there,
encerrado.
I want you to know I'm ready for it. I'm going to appreciate all of it, especially the food. I don't mind if I only have a year left. Or a month.
Or a week.
single week. I'd be happy with one new day. I can already imagine the sun on my face.
Oh.
Walter died when I was 6. I can't believe my mom never told me he was down here.
Qué triste que ya cuando pudiste salir de tu encierro, mueras.
I'm sure my mom was trying to protect me. Maybe she was afraid I'd end up like Walter. But if she never told me about an uncle under the house, I can only imagine what else she was hiding.
Sí, no manches. No, aparte que creepy. O sea, estás viviendo en tu casa y abajo hay un viejo que ni conoces viviendo. Bueno, sí lo conoces, pues, tu tío, pero a lo mejor no convivía con él. Qué creepy.
Trying to bury something that's still alive. Now that there's only one of us left, or maybe two, I thought it was time I heard the stories for myself and found out what happened to everyone else.
Ah, pues, ese es el contexto de por qué está ahí también.
Themselves might be the problem. Maybe we believed so much in a family curse, we made it real.
Descansa en paz, Walter. Qué bonita vista.
I don't know if I should even be writing this. Maybe it'd be better if all this just died with me. But I thought you should know about your family. And the history you're a part of. Though to be honest, I feel as lost as you probably do right now. I think the people in these stories believed them, for what that's worth.
Ah, qué bonito juego. La verdad sí está muy bonito. Como muy zen. Es como una experiencia zen. Aparte la música, el ambiente, en cómo caminas.
And when you look at the house, that history of imagination and stubbornness and madness, any of it seems possible. I think we've been surrounded by death for so long, we've just gotten used to it. What kind of family finishes building a cemetery before starting the house?
No, pues ninguna. O ninguna normal.
It's embarrassing for me to admit this, but the pet cemetery may be more uncomfortable than the human one. 3 of the gerbils were mine, and 2 had been my fault.
No, pues está
Sven
fuerte.
built the house, but it was Edie who designed the cemetery.
Molly, Calvin, Sven, Eddie, Walter, Barbara.
I'm sure Odin's monument had been Edie's idea. My mom was always trying to move on, but for Edie, the past never went away. She could see it poking out of the water at low tide. Edie said she dreamed about the old house every night. Edie's side was always easier for me to understand. But the older I get, the more I can see where my mom was coming from. Her dad had been pretty strict, but it wasn't enough to save her brothers. She was just trying to do better. She lost 2 of her brothers, just like I did. I get why she tried so hard to protect us.
No, pues sí, así cualquiera.
There's so many things I wish I could ask my mom now. Part of me thinks this is what she wanted all along. For me to come back someday and find everything out for myself. But looking back on it now, if she told me there was going to be so much climbing, I never would have come when I was 22 weeks pregnant.
Oh, se está embarazada. No me acordaba de eso. No te caigas, no te caigas.
I never met Grandpa Sam, but I think he and my mom had a lot in common. They were both pretty intense.
Dawn, I promise, you'll never forget this weekend.
Yes, sir.
These memories are gonna last a lifetime.
Am I gonna have to shoot anything?
It's a hunting trip, Dawn. Shooting is strongly encouraged. Perfect.
Ay, perdón si lo estoy flasheando,
The whole weekend, isn't it? Please just take the damn picture.
Hey, language.
I will never forget this weekend, Dad.
Okay, got it.
I'm gonna take some pictures, okay?
Just be careful. The camera's older than you are.
You're right, Dad. It's starting to clear up. Still freezing.
Hey!
That's a keeper.
I'm just saying, I'm not always gonna be here, Dawn. You'll need to remember this stuff, if you want to survive.
I'll be fine, Dad.
You know who else thought he was gonna be fine?
Some guy who died.
Dawn, I'm being serious.
I know, Dad. You're always serious. Doesn't being out here make you want to chill out?
Well, to tell you the truth, I haven't been out here
¿Dónde
in
está?
20
Ya lo.
years. Dawn, don't you think you could find something more interesting to photograph? Last time I was with my brother Calvin. Man, that was a great trip. Your grandpa's Fen taught us how to fish, how to build a fire.
Dad!
Good eyes, Dawn. Before you take the shot, let me get a picture of you.
Dad, I...
Just breathe. Turn off your imagination. Let me get behind you.
Do I have to do this?
Dawn, you don't have to do anything. But if you want to survive... Great shot, Dawn! I'm proud of you, Dawn. Always remember that, okay? Sorry, Dawn. Just gotta reset the timer.
Dad, it's twitching. I think
That's
it's
totally normal, Dawn. Just focus on the camera. Try not to think about...
Dad!
Oh. Y allá va otro.
Of all these stories, that's the one I wish most that my mom had told me.
Lola, no te preocupes. Ahorita es la historia de Sam, que es básicamente de que le estaba enseñando a cazar a su hija y cazaron un ciervo y se estaban tomando fotos, pero el ciervo no estaba completamente muerto, entonces cuando se iba a tomar la foto, el ciervo se movió y empujó por un acantilado al papá y así se murió.
Sam spent his life shooting photos, but Mom said he got nervous being in front of the camera. I guess we're all afraid of something.
Eso fue lo que pasó. A ver, un segundo. Vale, a continuar. Perdón que estaba mandando un mensaje.
Instead of hiding from death, Sam seemed to go out of his way to meet it.
Ay. Vale, entonces vamos a entrar.
After Sam died, my mom and Edie got really close. They'd both lost a lot.
Ah, Gregory. La historia de Gregory es yo creo que es la más triste de todo el juego. La del bebecito Gregory.
Dear Kay, do you remember the way Gregory used to laugh when he thought he was alone? Like something funny was happening, but only he could see it.
¿Estamos listos para llorar?
I think he saw things the rest of us don't.
Hold on, sweetie.
Hello? Sam, I told you I don't want to talk right now.
I wonder what he saw. What his world was like. He reminded me so much of Calvin. Lost in his imagination. Whatever it was he saw. It sure made him happy. I know how silly it sounds. That I worried about a baby being too happy. But I could feel him slipping away.
Sorry about that, Gregory.
I know you did everything you could. Maybe if I hadn't called that night.
Damn it. Hold on, I don't want Gregory to hear this.
I wish he could have told us about the world he saw. There's so much I don't understand about Gregory, about everything. But I know what happened wasn't your fault. I'm sure he's happy. He'd want you to be happy too. Good luck, Kay. Love, Sam.
Y así se fue el querido Gregory. Un añito tenía nada más el pobre Gregory.
I can't imagine my mom ever writing poetry, and yet...
A poem for Gus, who always said the wedding was a bad idea. Our father never hit us kids, at least not very hard, before the day my brother said with teenage disregard that he'd be dead before he'd see a wedding in our yard. My father made him come, of course, but Gus stood far apart, just flew his kite and bottled up the storm inside his heart. I tried to talk him out of it, but though he'd never met her, we don't need a stepmom, were the words that I
now
remember.
pronounce you husband and wife.
Ya sé. Vamos, vamos. Si me gustara.
When the time for photos came, Dad ordered him to come
No,
here.
no me gusta.
But Gus
¿Qué crees que
declined,
no?
and as a sign held up his middle finger. The wind picked up, and panicked geese appeared and quickly went. But all the humans did that day was go inside the tent.
Una carta. Sí, por el calor, ¿qué crees que no me gusta? Ya está haciendo... Ya no hay nadie y sigue aquí.
The rain came down in buckets then, but no one seemed afraid that nature might destroy the tent our dad had crudely made.
Diluvio. ¿Y por qué sigue ahí?
The thunder sounded much too close and full of angry power. But all my father said to this was, "Make the music louder."
Ya sé. No, ya está, hay rayos. Yo creo que se va a morir cayéndole un rayo. ¡Ay!
I wish that I could truly say I thought about you on that day. Out there on the beach alone, just you, the wind, the sea, and foam. But I didn't. Until we found you.
No, pues sí. Allá va otro. Murió siendo feliz, supongo.
She never talked about him, but
Fue
Mom
Gus.
told me once if I was a boy, they were going to name me Gus.
Bueno. Sí, iba sonriendo. Iba feliz.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get. She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Oh, esos son sus papás.
Religion was another thing my mom never talked about, but I think it helped her a lot after her dad died. My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a
Mira,
job
Mix.
teaching English. Louis
Creo que
was
ya va
back
la
there.
historia que te conté. La mejor historia del juego, también para los que están viendo el stream. Esta es la mejor historia del juego. Creo que es esta. Vamos
When
a
my
ver
dad
si no
died,
les mentí.
I don't think Mom knew where else to go. I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back.
Todavía, creo que todavía no,
Seeing kids
entonces.
in the house again.
No,
The
creo que
house had to be
todavía
a
no.
little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal. But it didn't last. The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle. After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
No, creo que esta no es la historia que digo. Todavía no. De Milton.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Desapareció el gran Milton.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared. Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors. Whatever Milton had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Bueno, él no murió, bueno, desapareció, pero también siendo feliz, siendo un pintor.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
Ah, esta es la mejor historia del juego, ahora sí. La de la fábrica de enlatados. Para quienes están viendo el stream. Vale, entonces ahora sí vamos a la mejor historia del juego. Y no es una opinión, es objetivo.
Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis. Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Vale.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery. But he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior. His mind began to wander. I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads. And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. He took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself. But he found something more. I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery. I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on. I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians. And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger. He no longer spoke at the cannery. But his chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering. It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville. St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis, until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on. In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a Handsome queen. The queen was on her own quest for radiant rainbows. He followed the sound of her silver harp. His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination. But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king. For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace. My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him. We began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker. He began to despise the man with a royal contempt. I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising him. His queen waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head. And the rest I think you know. Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Oh,
My brother
la
was pretty
mejor
cool.
historia de todas.
I wish you could have met him.
La mejor historia de todas. Así vamos a andar si seguimos siendo contadores.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed. But I understand why we left. What happened that night had been coming for a long time. My mom ended up leaving everything behind. Maybe it should have come sooner.
No, pues sí se rebanó, pero no la mano. Otra cosa.
But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night. That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving
Te vamos
tomorrow.
a regalar
Let's just enjoy our
unos,
lives. Edith,
unos
you're
garbanzos
excused.
de San Pedro.
The power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles.
Vale.
When my mom said the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
Claro que sí, te compramos sus garbanzos que ya te los debemos desde hace un montón. Bueno, el Edu Ketchum.
That thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning. Okay?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, it was the first and last time I ever saw the old house.
Sí, amigos, yo creo que sí. Sí, nada más que como se junta... Bueno, es el cumpleaños de esta Nao. Y también el de mi mamá y el de mi abuelita. Pero si no, sí, yo creo que sí. Simón, si vi tus historias que ya hasta te compraste un pastel, ¿verdad? Ya te encargaste. Sí, no manches, se juntan un montón de cumpleaños este mes.
God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every
Te digo, es el
day
de
of
mi
my
mamá.
life.
el sábado. El de Nao el siguiente sábado. Y mi abuelita el siguiente sábado. O sea, son 3 seguiditos. Sí, pero el más próximo es el de mi mamá. De hoy en 8. De hoy en 15 Nao y de hoy en... Pues en 3 semanas el de mi abuela. El de mi abuelita.
When the fog rolled in, I
Sí.
lost my way.
No sé si eso es bueno o es malo. Pero pues ahí andan.
I got turned around. I started seeing things.
Sí, no manches, sí pensé, voy a hacer un gastadero, pero no pasa nada. Yo con mucho gusto. Y
Things
que
I'd
Dios que
forgotten
socorra.
ever existed. But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Ya sé, que 2 huevos por vez. Le voy a decir a Eric que nos pase dinero.
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again. The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot. We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by.
Los guantes de Jeff Hardy.
About it. But she started getting sick a lot. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you. And tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way. This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
No te preocupes, I do not care. Igual que el juego ya se acabó. Pero sí, no te preocupes. Prioridades son prioridades. Nos vemos después. Qué bonito juego y qué bonita historia. Pues hemos acabado. Ya sé, siempre acabamos juegos. Ya van como 3, ¿no? Que acabamos contigo. Ay, qué padre. Sí, no manches, como 3 juegos literal he acabado y tú estás aquí también. No, pues muchas gracias por tu apoyo. Muchas gracias y que sean muchos juegos más. Pero bueno, no te quito mucho tiempo y muchas gracias. Bueno. Sí, amigos, ya se extrañaban, como de que no. Sí se extrañaba. ¿Qué otra historia quieres? Pues sí, el juego ya se acabó, literal. Y no sé si nos faltó alguna. Creo que no. Fueron todas las historias las que pudimos ver. La de Dawn sí la vimos. ¿Cuál es la de Dawn? Ah, creo que esta no la vimos. ¿O sí? Ah, sí la vimos. Perdón. Entonces, de historias, pues sí, creo que ya fueron todas. Walter, Gregory, Gus, Edith, Milton, Louis. Sí, todas las vimos. Pues bueno, ya acabamos el juego. No sé si alguien quiera repetir alguna historia para antes de terminar el en vivo. Sí, mi favorita fue la de Luis. Por mucho. Sí, sí te recomiendo mucho el juego porque está muy cool. Y te digo, está muy cortito. Te digo, lo terminamos yo creo como en 1 hora y media, 1 hora 40 más o menos. Entonces sí vale mucho la pena. La verdad que sí. Y mi historia favorita sí fue la de Luis. Por mucho. Sí, estaría cool subir un video resumido. Igual los en vivos pues se quedan grabados. O sea, los pueden ver. De todos modos, cuando termine el en vivo, si se meten a la página en Bro Players, está la sección ahí de en vivos y ahí están guardados todos los en vivos que hemos hecho. Entonces es lo bueno. Entonces, como este juego sí lo quería jugar completo para tenerlo aquí grabado. pero así son las cosas. Pues bueno, amigos, muchísimas gracias por estar aquí. Yo creo que al ratito vuelvo a aprender en vivo. Yo creo que como a las 9:30, 10 más o menos. A ver si me da un chance de aprender en vivo. Y yo creo que el que sigue va a ser el The Last of Us parte 2, ahora sí. El The Last of Us parte 2. Para antes de que se estrene la segunda temporada. Por si gustan estar, pues aquí con mucho gusto. Y te digo, sí, yo creo que va a ser como a las 10 de la noche. Que serían como en 2 horas y media más o menos. 2 horas. Y si no, pues el domingo volvemos a aprender stream. Claro que sí. Pues bueno, muchas gracias a los que estuvieron y a los que no, pues con mucho gusto pueden ver la grabación. Y pues muchísimas gracias por su apoyo y les mando muchos saludos y muchos abrazos. Nos vemos y cuídense mucho. Hasta luego, bye bye.